Back on the tractor. You can see I got the body panels back on it and the loader. Got a little situation in this loader here. I'm gonna see if I can address that today. So this ram is fully retracted. And these lift arms are too high. The back of this bucket needs to come down like another 5 inches. Maybe this loader was on a smaller tractor or something. But I'm looking at this and I see the second hole. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get this ram into the second hole, 2 1/4 inch difference. And then we'll see how close we can get this bucket to laying flat on the ground. I'll lift this loader up and it goes ridiculously high. You know, I wasn't really planning on loading any quad axle dump trucks with this thing. We can sacrifice a little bit of height easy. You'd think there'd be some sort of stop all the way down. It almost looks like maybe this angle here. But maybe the stop is just that ram, I don't know. You saw how slowly it went up. It's only a 7 gallon per minute pump in the back. Can't really see it, but this tractor is set up to have a pump in the front, which would be nice. So I've set this bucket on some blocks. And I'm gonna see if I can drive this pin out. I'd oiled it the other day. I just greased it. Might be difficult. And then the distance between these plates is just bigger than the smallest portion of this ram. So this stuff might interfere on here. I mean, I could cut this away with a torch, but I don't want to. I want to keep this whole location in case this loader gets put on a smaller tractor. So if I have to, I'm going to grind away at the inside, just on the outer edge of this. And then another plate could be put over this, or that plate could be replaced. I'm using this one as a template with these hole locations. E-clip came right off of there. Oh yeah. I'm no hydraulics expert, but I am going to try to just extend the ram one at a time to see if I can get these hole locations lined up. And see if I have to do any grinding. I can wedge it down a little bit. So I extended this, is about half a hole short. It's binding on this between here. You know, it's maybe just under 1/8 inch on each side. I'm going to grind an arc in here about that. Hopefully I don't have to get into this. And then see if we can get her to fit. I don't believe turning the ram around is an option because this distance is greater than that distance. Alright, I took some off the inside edge there. I think this is just a machine shoulder. I'm kind of butchering this, but I took some off that too. I'm gonna take a little more off this. I'm gonna take some off this side now, and then see if it goes together. Well, it's in. It's pretty tight on that big weld like I thought it was going to be. It is touching there. It's touching on both sides. I just kind of made a groove on the very end there. Let's see how that looks. It is clearanced, at least in this position. I'm gonna rinse and repeat and we'll do the other side. I did change up where I ground on this side. I went more towards the front. So when it's all the way up, I think that's where it's going to be. Well, ain't that something? That bucket's flat on the ground now. Not much room to spare. I wonder how much height we lost. Let's take a look. Well, plenty high for me. This loader is supposed to have a float feature with these lift arms. Doesn't seem to be working, but I think that would kind of work out nice for pushing snow around. Assuming this is the original valve, this side is supposed to have a float function. I don't know that it does, they both look the same. But I just noticed it only wanted to do one function at a time. And I believe this is what you call an open center. The hydraulics are just flowing through this thing the whole time. I can live with it the way it is. I was also wondering, is the PTO going to work with the clutch depressed? And it does. I believe this to be an independent PTO. And I think that because of this part right here. And you can depress the clutch. And the PTO keeps working, which is awesome. You can disengage it right here. You pull this thing up, hang it on the side like that. This plate stops the clutch pedal movement. And the other option was a continuous clutch, and maybe like halfway down would stop the tractor movement and all the way would stop the PTO. Without this plate, this pedal could travel all the way down to there. So here's the independent clutch release and that plate. Flip the page. You get the continuous clutch. And the only difference is that plate's gone. Plate, no plate. Somewhat complicated clutch. I mean, you have more than one friction disc here. And then here's a look at the continuous clutch setup. Take it out and replace that one hose that was really bad. This is like a Chinese hose off Amazon. It was 50 bucks. I called the local hydraulic shop. They wanted over $170 for that. I mean, just ridiculous. Hopefully this hose doesn't blow up in my face. And like I said, that pump in there I think is a 7 gallon per minute. And the one I can mount on the front of the crank, it was like a 14 gallon per minute. So the loader would work twice as fast, but finding the parts is kind of difficult. None of these tractor salvage places seem to want to help me. It's kind of like going to an auto salvage place. Almost a waste of time. I did get all the lights working. I'm going to flip this fixture. This is a new fixture on the other way, so it looks more like that one. So this clear light's facing more down. I want to get the headlights back on it, but this was too wide for this loader mount from here to over here. So I think I'm going to add a plate in there and then widen up this loader by 3/4 of an inch on each side. I'll have a plate under here and I'll have it coming all the way to the back so I can catch the holes back here. And then I'm going to make a spacer up in front here. These bolts are cranked on tight enough it's buckling in the mount. And then I should be able to get that on. Unfortunately, the side pieces were lost, and the suckers are expensive in this deal.